There's something about this whole situation that, to me, goes way beyond just a trade offer. This ain't just about Myles Garrett. This is about identity. It's about direction. And most importantly, it's about what the Browns actually want to be over the next few years. Because when you start hearing rumors like this, even if it's still just talk about the best player on your roster, that doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. That usually reflects something going on inside the building. And where the Browns are right now, it's not hard to read. We're talking about a franchise that just came off a season where they had one of the best defensive players of this era, maybe the best pass rusher in the league right now, breaking records, and still only won 5 games. That alone tells you everything. So let's call it what it is. Cleveland right now is not competitive. This is not a team that's one piece away from making a playoff run. And when you're in that spot, keeping a generational player in his prime starts bringing up an uncomfortable question. Are you maximizing that player, or are you wasting him? Now, getting into the offer itself, 2 first-round picks and a second. That's the kind of haul you only see when we're talking about a top-tier, elite player. And Garrett is exactly that. But here's where it gets interesting. This isn't just about Garrett's market value. It's about timing. If you look ahead to the 2026 draft, there's no quarterbacks that really get people fired up. No obvious franchise-changing guy. So if Cleveland really wants a franchise QB, the real target might be 2027. And that's where this trade starts making more sense. Because now you're stacking draft capital for a class that, in theory, should be stronger at the most important position in the game. From a roster building and tactical standpoint, though, trading Garrett is basically hitting reset on your entire defense. He's not just a player. He changes protections. He changes game plans. He changes everything. Without him, your defense instantly loses its identity. But at the same time, you gain flexibility. And that's the kind of move that separates aggressive front offices from conservative ones. Now, straight up, I get the logic behind the trade, but I wouldn't pull the trigger. And this ain't just fan emotion talking, it's risk assessment. Because rebuilding in the NFL is never linear. You can stockpile picks, draft well, and still go nowhere. We've seen it happen over and over again. And when you give up a talent like Garrett, there's zero guarantee you'll ever replace that kind of impact. Honestly, you probably won't. So for me, the risk here is way too high. Now flipping it over to the Patriots, that's a whole different conversation. New England is clearly in win-now mode. They've been to the Super Bowl recently. They've already beefed up the defense. But they're still missing that one dude who can wreck a game by himself. And Garrett is that dude. You drop him into a well-coached, disciplined Patriots defense, that unit instantly becomes one of the most dominant in the league. This ain't a rebuild. This is going all in. And it makes total sense. Now let's break down the scenarios. Best case for the Browns. They make the trade, stack picks, nail the 2027 draft, land a franchise QB, and build a more balanced roster, long-term. That's the plan-worked scenario. Worst case, they trade Garrett, miss on the picks, still don't have a QB, and get stuck in a rebuild that never actually happens. And then you're sitting there thinking, we traded a future Hall of Famer in his prime. For this? Best case for the Patriots. Garrett shows up, the defense becomes top 3 in the NFL. They stay competitive immediately and turn into legit Super Bowl contenders. Worst case, injuries, decline, or the fit just doesn't click, and you gave up premium picks for less impact than expected. But honestly, that risk is way lower than Cleveland's. And that's the key point for me. This trade is way safer for the team buying than the one selling. And that alone tells you a lot about who should, or shouldn't, pull the trigger. Now, here's something a lot of people overlook. The Browns don't seem like they actually want to move Garrett. And to me, that's the biggest signal of all. Because internally, they probably still believe they can compete, or at least speed up the rebuild without giving up their best player. Which brings up another angle. Maybe Cleveland just isn't ready to admit they need a full reset, and that happens all the time in the NFL. Teams get stuck in the middle, neither good enough to compete, nor committed to a real rebuild, and that's the worst place you can be. So at the end of the day, this potential trade isn't just about Garrett going to the Patriots. It's about a franchise-defining decision, that could shape the Browns for years. So, let me ask you straight up. If you were the GM in Cleveland right now, would you really have the guts to trade the best player on your team and bet everything on a future that isn't even guaranteed?